Good. Hi. How are you guys?
Hey, I'm fine.
We are here at Gallery SO with Mario Gutiérrez and with Domix Garrido. They are part of the project 1668, and they are coming here to show and share with us at the World Migrants event their work. So how did it all start, guys? Mario or Domix, who wants to talk here?
We met together, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like this. He's a performance, and he's always making performance between, he will speak more about this, but he usually worked with the poetry, with social themes, with political themes. Me also usually work with these kind of things, not usually in performance. I am more artist of installation, video, of this kind of sculpture, of expanding films, this kind of thing. And we met together in Lisboa 5 years ago, probably. He was making a performance, and we began to work together. We make things together the last 5 years, more or less, always. And 2 years ago, he said to me, Mario, I go to the border of Spain and Morocco, Europe and Africa, to make something there, and because he want to speak about what is happening there. And I say, okay, I will go with you. We began a project there, that we go there, we speak with the people that will have crossed the border, and we thought that we have to do something with this, we have to reindicate this, we have to make something for them, for us, and for say to the world what is happening there, but with art, not only activists, more part of art. I went there with a project that I didn't do it because it was something with the people that have crossed, but at the end I thought that it was use them to speak, and I don't want to use the people that they have crossed. I prefer that speak only about what is happening and not about the people that they have crossed, more or less. I don't want to use them like advertising to say something about this. I prefer to show only the borders, the fence, the things that the war have made, know that the people need to cross to do this. I prefer to don't use the people and to use only to documentary only the things that this war that we made have divided and have made to impedir,
to avoid,
to hold the people can move between one land to other land, because it's only land, it's only a piece of sea and piece of land.
Is that one of the works you're showing here too? Yeah. What is the name of that work?
A Serve of Melilla. There are only 11 videos, very short, only documentary of what's there, what's happened there. But it could be there or could be in other borders of Mexico or Syria or in Israel. This war is now getting more and more borders, and Sahara.
So for people to have it clear, what is 1668? You get together and you decide to work about borders or about migration, and why?
The translation, please.
¿Por qué nació en 1968?
Contesto en español. 1668 es el nombre de nuestro proyecto y nació en el año 2014, hace 2 años, en Madrid. Realmente todo viene un poquito a colación del viaje a Melilla, que ha comentado Mario, porque nos dimos cuenta que estábamos trabajando ya en este proyecto sin saber que éramos conscientes de él. Ya estábamos trabajando en 1668 sin saber que ya formábamos un colectivo o un proyecto. Fue en Madrid, en una galería de arte, donde a partir de una propuesta que Mario tenía una exhibición de vídeo y de fotografía, y me propuso hacer una acción para inaugurar esa exposición. Empezamos a hablar qué podíamos hacer y bueno, llegamos a la conclusión, como vimos ayer en la instalación, en la acción, en el que llegamos a la idea de que él trabajaba en la parte oeste de la península ibérica y yo trabajaba en la parte este, por lo tanto estábamos de espaldas, digamos, cada uno mirando a un mar o a un océano. Y es un poco lo que ocurre con España y Portugal. Son dos países unidos por la columna vertebral, son las mismas raíces, el mismo tipo de todo, de costumbres, comida. Sin embargo, no se miran, están de espaldas unos a otros. A partir de ahí fue nuestra exploración de por qué ese dar la espalda unos a otros, ¿no? Como reflejamos ayer en acción. Y nació en 1668, porque es el año cuando Portugal se independizó de la corona de Castilla y Aragón, que es en aquella época la reina.
So the first project that starts everything within this kind of duet that you have created is what we saw yesterday here, that is I Am From Here, right? That performance. And from there you have expanded it and joined some of your projects with these projects, and you have created this kind of, yeah, great, nice, beautiful that you're choosing this so significant date for it. And but you treat as well it's not just from Africa to the Iberic Peninsula, you expand it to other countries, other cultures, do you talk about about this problem of migration, or about this problem more than migration, because it's not a problem, about the problem of borders in other countries as well, or you just focus on Spain?
So at the beginning was more working with the idea of Iberia, not only Spain, the idea of Iberia and this is border from Europe and Africa. But also Domix is working with the migrants that they come from Syria, or they come from other parts of the world. And it's a process. It's not. We don't know where we are going because we are working and we're making big installations and installation. Depends what happened, and depends what the world will say to us and what we have to do with this. So we don't know. Yes, the beginning was more Melilla, this border on Melilla, because we were there. But it could be Melilla, it could be other places that we have to do, or we have to go, more or less.
The video Golden River se mostró en el Museo del Bronx de Nueva York hace un año aproximadamente. Fue seleccionado en la Bienal de Vídeo. Y hace unos meses en Bogotá, también en un festival internacional de performance, en la modalidad de vídeo arte, también fue seleccionado en Bogotá. Por lo tanto, hay una aceptación en el continente americano, tanto en el norte como en el sur, sobre todo con el carácter, digamos, latino, interesados en este tipo de trabajo.
Of course. And have you thought about talking about this congratulations, by the way, have you thought about talking about this with the American continent? Because it is something really current right now. For example, the music video of Where Migrants and Migrant, it talks, it's in Spanish and English as far as I know, because it talks about what's going on in Latin America, people trying to cross the border to the US, and how that is affecting a lot of different, especially young people. Have you thought about talking about it, moving for a little bit to America and make a piece of work there, or any of you guys?
Well, we are open to make other things, but for the moment we are working more here in Europe. But it's more or less our place. We are more from this side, so it's more easy for us to make things here and to speak about what we have here. We don't know how we can think about Mexico or other borders, but we are not sure because we are not there. We can speak about what we need, but we don't know really what happened.
Have you experienced something similar? I mean, have you experienced yourselves having to cross a border and feeling like a migrant or a refugee, or have you experienced something similar?
Not really. For us, not for me, I am a European, and for me it's very easy to go to any place and to stay the time I want, and it's more easy. It's true that if I go to other countries, it's only for 1 month, 3 months, but for the moment we are European, and it's very easy to move because we are the high quality of the world. We are the first class of the world. We are not the people that they cannot move because they don't have the papers. So it's very strange for us that some people could move and other people could not move because we are only one world and we are all together. And it's very strange that why there is a fucking friends that say here you're from one part and here you're not from another part because it's the same.
Well, if you're trying to stay in US, for example, you wouldn't be able to unless you're paying for a visa. That is what any other Latin American person will need to be doing. So you feel good and you feel in your comfort zone because you're in Europe that is smaller even than any American country. So what if, you haven't tried that, but what if you try to move to China? What if you try to move to Australia or to US? You would be an illegal immigrant, so you will be in the same position. Have you thought about that, or have you thought about making any work that maybe will document all that part, or I don't know, just asking randomly if this is an idea.
Ahí necesito la mitad entiendo la mitad, pero bueno. El carácter internacional que tiene el proyecto, porque las personas que participan, como vimos ayer en I'm From Here, pueden ser de cualquier lugar del mundo, ¿no? Entonces no se circunscribe a un continente solamente y menos a un país, sino que cualquier persona se siente identificada con esa migración, que es el movimiento en el que estamos trabajando, igual que vosotros, ¿no? Y entonces el carácter que tiene internacional ya de por sí aporta un valor a una idea humanista, digamos, al proyecto. Entonces yo creo que eso es lo que tiene de identificación donde se presenta este proyecto, ¿no?
Quizás habla de si nosotros hemos intentado ir a otros países que no podamos ir, que tengamos visado para ir.
Claro, pues no, de momento no hemos ido, claro, pero...
Just saying that in reality, I mean, when we are in Europe, as Mario is saying, everything is easy because we have created this European Union that at the moment is making our life easy in order to travel from one place to another. We don't know how that's going to be now in the UK with Brexit, which is another interesting point. But how that is going to be affecting a lot of European people trying to stay here. And then if you are open perhaps, or if you have experienced, that was my question, being European trying to go to another continent, because at the end of the day it's being in the same continent, and we in this first class or first world, we will be suffering the same, right, if we're trying to go to another continent. The only difference perhaps is that we would have a little bit more of money than these people that are trying to cross from Africa to Europe, that they have nothing, right?
No, we didn't try to move to other places, and for the moment we are not going to do it. For the moment we are not.
What do you think makes these people move to another place? Because if you're not trying to do that, it's because maybe you're not in that position, which is fantastic, that you're not having to live that. What do you think is making these people that you're talking about?
Because they want something, they want opportunity to, because they thought that to move to their country is something better always. They thought, we were in the project that, can you put the next this installation, it's we have some questions to people that they have crossed, some people they have make the laws, or they work military policing lawyers, people that work with the laws. And we ask the people that why they cross and why they want to move, their better motivation, and they always more or less speak about because they want something, they don't hear his life or their life, don't think that they're good, they don't have the things that they need to live, the food, the health, the minimal things that they need to a normal person to live, and they want to go to other place. Because they thought that they could be better and there would be a better life, a better way to move. And not only, we speak with a lot of people, and more or less all say to us that they don't want to move only to Spain, or they want to go to any part of the world that because they want to, they don't want to be only in Europe, they want to move. They are not, Europe or Spain is the best, or go to from Gaul, from France to England. It's not the same. It's the same. They don't want. They
just want to escape.
Yes,
they want to escape from where they are and find something better, right?
More like that.
But it's not that they have a specific place, as you were saying. Am I right? Just want to get out of their horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
And depends where. There are people that they have crossed because they want a better life, and there are people that cross because they don't have nothing.
Yeah, there are these two versions, of course.
Because Syria, the West,
don't have alternatives.
the East, they don't have nothing. They have destroyed everything, so they have to go out because they don't have her own life, they don't have it. They lost everything. So it's totally, for me it's very different because we speak with people that they want to be football player, they want to be a model, and there are people that want to be better, and there are people that they want to be something or someone, not only image of the advertising.
It's really interesting that you're bringing this up because, for example, with this We Are All Migrants movement that is coming up, we're trying to talk about these things, right? So what is the difference in reality? Is the same this person, or we should be treating in the same way this person that has nothing and is very poor now, right? Maybe had a lot 5 years ago, but now doesn't have anything and is just trying to get something. It's the same situation as someone who had something and is trying to get a better life. In reality, the concept is trying to get something better, right? So what is the difference? I mean, in reality, we are all trying to get something better, and the fact of migrating is trying to improve or to go to a better place, like we were saying the other day, a bird that is migrating just to get a little bit of sun. So, or a German person trying to go to the Costa del Sol to get tanned. You want better life. So what is avoiding us to do that? It's just, what do you think why do you think we have these borders? What is the reason? Is it a social reason? You think it's racial? You think it's political? You think it's economical? What do you think is the reason?
I think it's an economic reason, nothing more. We are more or less the same. We have different language, we have different culture, but at the end, year before we can move to any part, all the countries that they found, they built this wall, they have moved from one side to the other side with any problem. And now we cannot move. Year before we can go to Asia, from Spain we can go to Asia, or we can go to America, and now it's possible to make the same. And it's only
I mean, Spanish people were having to migrate to America, and in fact Spain is when many European countries are what they are because they got the money from America in a very poor moment, and they came back and they built what we are now. So so you think it's something economic? So you think the borders we're creating now are economic borders? What do you think would be necessary in order to open those borders again? If it's something that is possible, a world without borders.
It's possible to open them.
We have
¿Qué pasaría?
¿Qué crees que sería necesario para que esas fronteras?
Para que no existieran las fronteras, en las que se supone que el ser humano pueda circular libremente, no solamente a nivel europeo, que ya es una entelequia, ya no es así. Han quitado ese visado libre que había entre países ahora mismo también por el terrorismo, ¿no? Por el miedo. El miedo es el que hace protegernos. El miedo te hace levantar un muro al vecino para proteger no solamente tu economía, sino también tu política, tu cultura, tu familia, tu propiedad, ¿no? Es el miedo a que te invadan. Si la única razón que habría para quitar esas fronteras es dejar de tener miedo. Eso es muy complicado.
And how do you avoid that terror? Because that's something that we see a lot of governments doing, right? And this is what is generating this war and the problem in Syria, and it's this terrorism that is everybody's in complete alarm. It's like, oh my God, something is going to happen now. But obviously, we have seen a lot of documentaries that are talking about this, where this terror is coming from and how it is a weapon to control the mass, to control people. But what do you think is necessary in order to not have that fear, to not have that terror? Do you think maybe it is an intellectual, as you're saying, maybe it is something impossible? But if we were having it back in the day at some point, what has changed now? What is making us again to build our fences and to protect ourselves and to be afraid?
The political, they pay the terrorists to make the fair people. It's the politicians give the weapons, give the money, give the power, prepare them to make this So the world are afraid of these terrorists that they have built.
Yeah. That's a theory, of course. I'm saying, what do you think is necessary for that to be abolished, to change? ¿Qué crees que es necesario para que eso cambie? ¿Hay alguna manera de que cambie?
If the border disappear, the people can move freedom from its country to its country. They can build their life where they want, and the money go to the place that the people go. So it's not a question of, okay, I am Spanish and I go to London.
So you think it's a question of retaining the money and keeping the money in one place?
Right, yes.
Yeah. So it's like, the money is here, I don't want this money to go anywhere else. The money just can't get in, cannot get out, or is kind of controlling this kind of banks of money. Good. It would be interesting to open up debates about this in a little while. Looks like an interesting topic with different options or visions. Do you have here other part of your work that you want to talk about, or?
Can you put more? It's the next mail. Well, this is the same installation as we have so more. This is the origin of our project. This is pretty big. I don't know why it's so big. Well, it was the origin of 1688. It was the map of the Iberian Peninsula, but it was made with piel de vaca, with
wow. Skin. Oh my God. This translation.
We make with a skin of a goat and
Cow.
And we were in both sides, and it was the origin of the first performance. This is the skin.
This is a gallery of Madrid 2 years ago.
It's beautiful.
With Sara.
And it was the action with the people. This is where we went when we went to Melilla. We were in these days of rights and things about speaking about borders and rights of people. These are the videos that I made.
We can see some of them here, right?
They are more or less stills of what happened there, but with a long duration, but they are only stills.
It's really interesting that with some of them what you are bringing is like you can see the marks of these people that had to pass in some of them with some of the fences, and you can see how they had to grab that fence and they broke it, and you can imagine these invisible people that perhaps they don't have, looks like they don't have identity, and they pass that. And you can imagine I think it's very symbolic, and it brings a lot of different options to the spectator to imagine different paths and different stories, and it's very heartbreaking to say it like that, because you can imagine yourself jumping that and what that could be. So
we have spoke with people that they have born in Melilla, and they say that they were a child, they were a friend like this, and they cross all the days to go to the beach, or to go to other parts, to go to Morocco to buy food. I don't know, 5 years, 10 years ago, something like this. They put 8 meters, they put double fence, they put the dogs, they put a lot of things, and
European Union by this fence.
And not only this, that in the European Union they make laws that they speak about the rights of the people, but they didn't use it. They have 2 doors. The people cross the fence and go to Spain, and the Europe say, okay, these people, they have to go to Jews, they have some right, they have 1 month to be in Spain to try to legalize, because some people, they cross but they have papers, but the police, say, okay, we open the door, the Moroccan police say, okay, we open the door, come on, and they come back to Africa, totally illegal. This is a normal day
in Melilla. The people jump, cross the border, and they have rights that they cannot use because both police, the Spain police and the Morocco police, open the door to obligate the people to come back to Africa without all the rights of Europe and all the rights of not only the Persian rights, the rights that the people they have. I don't know. It's very confused this for this world that have to be more open and the people have to be at least some rights, some a little. And this is only and for the people that they are waiting for jam or to cross the borders, they were in a mountain. They are seeing all the day Europe and they saw all the days. Can you put more in the front? The golf. This no, the other one. That's this. They are in the other side of the fence and they are looking a big field of golf. This is the image of Europe.
And they think that this is Europe.
Yes. This is the total border.
That's horrible. That's the thing that they have in front of them because it is like, oh my God, this is a dream. This is going to be amazing. Look at the Spanish flag there. Wow.
This is a paradise.
And they imagine that all Europe is going to be a golf course, and yeah, this is not.
Okay.
Especially south of Spain, right?
Go to Domix action. And it's very Domix make a performance that go.
Yeah, talk about Golden River.
River.
Tell us a little bit about it, please.
This is a poetic message. Durante 4 horas leí un manifiesto en el que denunciaba las acciones ilegales del gobierno español según la normativa española y europea. A una persona que pone el pie en territorio europeo o español se le debe dar asilo y asistir, ¿no? Es una persona que cruza la frontera. Lo que se está haciendo sistemáticamente es abrir la frontera y devolver esas personas que han pasado a España, devolverla ilegalmente a Marruecos, otra vez, a la policía marroquí. Y simplemente es un documento, aproximadamente 40 páginas.
Es un documento legal, es un legal document that is written by
Un
the
documento
Spanish
legal
government.
redactado por catedráticas de derecho penal de las universidades de Madrid, de la Universidad de Santander, Barcelona, varias, sobre todo eran catedráticas de universidad. Y estuve leyendo ese manifiesto hasta que empecé en la Plaza de las Cuatro Culturas, que es esta, porque allí se supone que conviven
The
4
center in front of the council hall, Melilla.
Melilla. Sí, y las 2 botellas tienen una simbología porque allí cuando yo voy previamente a una ciudad para hacer una acción intento respirar cómo se mueve la ciudad, las personas que trabajan allí o que viven. Y había una circulación de botellas de plástico, un intercambio, no se tiran a la basura, se aprovechan y se llevan a Marruecos, se venden en Marruecos las botellas de plástico. Y bueno, si se pasa, hay una fotografía, hay una fuente, hay una fuente previamente que lleno una de las botellas con agua con agua del centro de Melilla, agua potable. Y en el paseo llego hasta la playa, que se ha visto en la imagen anteriores, hasta una playa como en cualquier playa mediterránea, con sus sombrillas, su bienestar de playa mediterránea. Allí vacié ese agua, cogí agua del mar en la otra botella y emprendí un camino hacia la frontera con Marruecos, por un río que se llama Golden River, Río de Oro, que es un cauce seco, que solamente funciona, digamos, solamente se llena de agua cuando llueve en el monte Gurugú, que está en Marruecos. El monte Gurugú es donde habitan las personas que están esperando para saltar la valla. Es un monte de refugiados, prácticamente. Ahí les tienen prohibido el gobierno de Marruecos que les vendan agua, que les vendan comida a los pueblos de alrededor, a las personas ciudadanas marroquíes. Y la poética de esta acción es llevar el agua desde el mar Mediterráneo a través de ese cauce, que se puede ver en las imágenes que vienen ahora. Es un cauce seco, donde solamente se transita algún granado y algunas personas pasan hasta llegar a la frontera con Marruecos, en el que termino de leer el manifiesto, y un gesto simbólico poético es lavarme los pies con el agua del Mediterráneo que cogía ahí, como un signo también musulmán, porque suelen ser de religión musulmana. Me limpié los pies y dejé un charco de agua para que cuando llueva en el monte Gurú el agua comunique con el agua Mediterráneo. El mensaje.
O sea, tu transcurso, la performance es donde acaba en la frontera y empieza en
el centro del Garrido, de las 4.
El centro va a la playa, de la playa sigue por el río hasta llegar a la frontera.
El curso natural, porque sería la bajada natural del agua, de lluvia, hasta buscar el mar.
And we have here, as I understand, a little summary of it. Here at Galleries O, we have a summary, tenemos un resumen of this work. Yeah.
De 4 minutos.
And we have 1 hour.
We have 3 minutes instead of 4 hours and 1 hour, right?
Okay.
So is this something, when you're doing these actions, is this something that, how do people react to these actions? Do people understand what you're doing? Is there any kind of reaction, feedback that you receive?
Las personas no prestaban atención a lo que estaba leyendo porque yo
Do they
iba...
understand? Do they understand what you're saying?
Sí, escuchaban, pero solo un fragmento, porque yo voy andando. Solamente la policía es la que estaba pendiente de qué estaba pasando allí, porque Mario iba grabando con la cámara. Y incluso había un grupo de activistas en estas jornadas que en la última tramo, al pasar por el CETI es un centro de estancia temporal, donde están refugiados digamos, las personas que han pasado la frontera de manera ilegal, y nos acompañaron algún activista grabando en vídeo con el móvil, al mismo tiempo subiendo a internet, pues si había nos quitaban la cámara o teníamos algún problema con la policía. La policía nos dejó llegar hasta el final y creo que de alguna manera se comunicaron con la policía marroquí de que había un elemento extraño ahí delante de su frontera y no sabían qué pasaba, pero yo no estaba haciendo nada ilegal, yo estoy hablando y caminando por un río. Entonces, bueno, realmente fue una llamada de atención al mundo, en el que gracias al vídeo pues se puede llevar a otras ciudades, como está ocurriendo aquí en Londres, en esta galería, que bueno, que estamos muy agradecidos por la invitación vuestra en venir aquí a trabajar y a mostrar el trabajo que se hace.
Other work that we were speaking about this and working, we didn't make yet, but the idea was also to have a lot of documentary about books, about information, and invite people to think in ideas, to jump, to cross, to make, to go to.
How would you cross over them? Yeah.
And we were thinking, we were also working on more or less with the ideas and working with Olga Diego. It's a performer and a very good artist of Spain, and she have a lot of ideas like Leonardo da Vinci to fly. She built
balloons.
Artifacts.
She make balloons and she make artifacts and she makes things to can fly. With recyclate materials. So we were working with her and we invited people also to join us and think about how the people can cross more easy the border. It's one of the ideas of really fun.
So it's obvious as we go along with this conversation that you are pro people crossing the border. Obviously, it's obvious that we understand it because you're joining this exhibition. That is, we are migrants, a world without borders. So your position is everybody should be traveling, because it's traveling at the end of the day in a free way. If you need to empathize with the other side, what do you think, for example, here, you're in London, no? So if Brexit happens, as is supposed to be happening, and you decide to move in here in 5 years, you will need a visa. You will be in another position. And what do you think is the perspective of these people that, for example, has voted Brexit? And what is moving them to say, hey, I don't want someone like you in to be here so easily? You need to empathize with them if you need to be in their position. Obviously, we understand yours. How do you feel?
Probably the same when they are speaking about afraid. So they are afraid of what happened now with other people, that they took the money and they took the jobs and they took everything. So they don't want this immigration. London is a city of immigration, totally.
Exactly. So, for example, we're in London and you're seeing that. So, a lot of these people are migrants themselves.
Of course.
Or, I was speaking with one person before Brexit, and he was from Angola, and he was born there, but he was raised here, and he was going to vote Brexit. He didn't want people to come in. So what do you think why do you think they think that way? Do they want to be protective? As you were saying, don't they want someone else to take their jobs? Is someone else taking their jobs, really? What is your opinion about this?
I'm not from London,
but you're a little perspective here, or in Spain. You're in Spain, and you're probably feeling the same. There are a lot of people saying to people from Bolivia to get out of the way, and there's this xenophobic and racist movement as well there. And when I was a kid, there were a lot of people, Dominican women, being killed. So why these people are doing that? Why these young skinheads were killing Lucrecia? I remember that. Where's that coming from? Do you think it's an educational thing that they received that from their parents? Do you think they really feel? Where's your opinion?
Yo creo que ante todo queremos proteger nuestro entorno, nuestra casa. La primera frontera que tenemos es la llave de casa, para evitar que entre una persona a nuestra intimidad. Esa es la primera frontera. Entonces, a partir de ahí es muy complicado no elevar una frontera con el vecino, elevar una frontera de tu ciudad, de tu país, ¿no? Yo pienso que todo esto, el movimiento del Brexit, de independencia o de xenofobia o de lo que puede haber en el fondo es como he dicho antes, todo se basa en el miedo y en proteger lo que tú tienes, tu estado de bienestar, proteger tu...
Do you think if everyone, there are all these theories saying that if just 5 of the top richest people in the world will give a little bit of, just a percentage of their wealth to every single country that we consider poor of their worth, everyone would be able to live with 1,000 euros. Everyone in this planet, every single citizen, every single person would be able to have 1,000 euros in their bank account to start a new life and to progress.
I think it's more easy. They don't steal the money they don't steal the materials of the countries. There are not any country that are poor. All the countries they have something.
Exactly.
The people, the lands, the ceiling, the sea, everything, so all the countries they have something, but the countries they have a lot of money, they want more money, and they steal all the money of these countries because they thought that they are less and they can make everything with them. I don't think that they have to be someone that have a lot of money to give money to people. It's only to don't steal the money of the people, not give, it's not steal. It's only
How do you change that? So there is where I'm coming from. This is an educational thing. Why people are stealing? That's a crime, right? You go to a shop and you steal something, and police come to you and you go to jail or whatever.
I think
so.
2 things. One is that we have to control the governments. We have to say to the governments, this you cannot do it. That we have to activists more us and say to the government, no, you cannot do this. You have to stop this. We have to say to the government, no, you will down. We go down. We're gonna put another government, or we are gonna make something new. I don't know what, but we say no. You cannot do this to us. You cannot do this to Africa. You cannot do this to the world first. And the people of the world that they are stealing, they have to do the same. They have to say no. Fuck you, Europe. Fuck you, America. We go out of here.
Good.
But the people have to go to the street, have to say, I don't know why, in what way, but they have to say, stop.
Don't steal me.
Good. Now that you're talking, it would be great to get some other people as well talking about these kind of things. What do you think, in general, if someone wants to talk, would be, because you were talking about people saying stop, right? But we need to understand as well that great part of this country is because of what the first world has done are morally depressed. I mean, you have been living for 20 years hearing that you are shit, then you believe you're shit, obviously. So as well, there is that kind of time and transition that they need in order to believe in themselves and say, hey, stop what you're doing, right? So it's kind of tough. Obviously, it's possible, but there is it needed? How do you change that? How do you change as well their beliefs, because they are absolutely down, they are absolutely destroyed. So
at the beginning of the century in America, the black people go to the street and say stop, and then they have a normal, more or less normal life.
Where, sir?
In America, North America.
Well, yeah, it has taken a century. Yes, and still we're hearing that policemen are killing black people, and we have Black Lives Matters because of that, because it's still there. I mean, and we have had an Afro-American president that has been very symbolic and has not able to do anything.
Yes.
Anything. So, who are making these decisions? Do you think this is a conspiracy, as a lot of people talk about, or do you think it's really possible to change? What is it needed? Do you think art helps to bring a change? Do you think people listen to your message and think, wow, wait a second, we actually need to change something?
Yeah.
What do you think are the tools?
The point is to do another construction as they do with the balloon, no? Another economy construction, because who is they? No?
Yeah.
Who is they?
Who is they? They is us.
Yes. Who is the people who is stealing? Is another country? Is another people with another color? Is we? Always we. But we need another construction for the life quality. Change the borders.
The values.
The borders for who? Borders?
At the borders.
Borders for who?
It's a question also of education, as you say. Like the parents, with the school, with the world speak about rights. The people should know what they have and what they could be. Not like you say that we are, when the people are totally lost, they are down, they cannot do nothing because they think that it's impossible to do nothing. But if we educate the people with art, with activities, with a book, with anything, speaking the matter from the...
With questions. That you say is, we have a question, how to change the borders, no?
If you bring these questions, if we raise these questions to kids as well and we open them, that there is this possibility perhaps. Yeah, that would be interesting, or simply educate them a little bit more with emotional intelligence as well, since they are kids, and help them to develop other tools and tell them what is out there. I think the great part of the problem of sometimes these people that maybe is us unconsciously as well, that we are putting borders to things because we do it, right? You were saying we're putting a key in our house, so should we? I mean, if we want to be coherent with all this, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should keep our door open, like in towns, that you can go in and have lunch with someone and you just say, hey, I'm here. Perhaps we need to tell our kids or the next generations, hey, there are all these possibilities. Let's bring them, all of them here and make yours, right? Of course, you don't need to oblige as well your kid to say, you have to be open-minded and you have to do this, right? Because otherwise you're as well dictating that. But
also, I hope that I was speaking 2 days ago here in London with a guy that said that in his class at the university there were 26 people of different countries, 26 different in the same class, one class. Probably this in the future, in the next generation, when all the people are mixed, probably they say, why I have to be against these people because he's Indian, African, Spanish. Because now, at the beginning, we thought that Europe are over the South America, but now South America they are bigger more, and they say, so it's Europeos,
Yeah.
It's the world is changing.
I would like to have here the opinion of one Brazilian girl. You want to join us? That she's experiencing. You can sit down around here. You don't need to be on the camera. But and as well, British person around. What is your perspective of this? Because you have been living in London for. You don't need to be if you don't want to. You have been living in London for the last 9 months.
Yes.
And you're from Brazil.
Yeah.
Right. So and you have to leave.
Yeah.
Because you finish your studies.
Yes, I have to go
So,
back.
what is a little bit your perspective of all this? In your experience, you know, you live in Brazil, you probably see borders in your city, living there. And now you come here to study, but at the same time you have to leave. How do you experience that? Is that a problem? You're cool with it?
No, it is a big problem because it's kind of like a contradiction because in Brazil, we're not like the richest country, so we have a lot of social issues. So there's a lot of people from Brazil that they want to move to the United States or to Europe to have a better life. But at the same time, in Brazil, there's a lot of people from other countries that they're trying to move to Brazil to also have more opportunities. And then at that point, Brazilian people, they're like, no, we don't want people from other countries, and people from Bolivia or from Haiti or no one. They kind of close and they don't give chances or opportunities to them. But at the same time, they're trying to go to Europe too. So I think that is one problem that they should like change because they want to go away from there, but at the same time they don't accept like people that are there like to work. And we had this problem recently that a lot of doctors from Cuba, they were moving to Brazil to help like the public health in Brazil that is really bad. And usually people that study there and they graduate as doctors, they charge a lot because they think, oh, I'm a doctor, so I'm gonna charge a lot, and they do that to be rich, basically. So no one's there to go to the poor places and give like public health for free and go like to each house to see how they're going. So they're like, okay, so the government, they made this program to accept people from outside, and a lot of like people from Cuba as well, because they are good doctors and they won jobs. And by the time they moved there, a lot of people, they were against it. And I don't know why, because the same people that are against it, they're doing nothing for that issue. They're like, no, I don't want to like graduate, like be a doctor and work in favelas or this more like poor areas. They just want to go to like big hospitals and charge a lot and have their own like room. Yeah, so it's hard.
So it's protectionism again.
Yes,
right?
it is a lot. But at the same time, when they're not allowed to move to another countries, they feel, oh, that's not fair. But they should like change their minds as well. Yeah, so it's kind of a bit of contradiction there.
And your experience here, you have been here in London, and you have felt welcomed. You came here to study, and you had a great experience.
I had a good experience, but the problem is that basically for me to go anywhere else, any other country, Europe, United States, doesn't matter, I have to prove that I can pay for that. I cannot work here, I cannot do anything basically. Even if I'm here like to study, they are like, okay, you can come here, but as long as you prove that you're not gonna work and you have like the money to afford yourself, you can stay. And that's how it works. So my course is gonna finish by the end of September, then I have to go back.
It's quite ironic, right? That we're allowed to go to countries to study and learn from there, but we're not allowed to give our work, what we're able to do, what we have learned there, we're not able to give it to that country or any other, right?
Yeah, you can take another one visa that you can stay here for as long as your course is, and then you can work, but it's not much. I think It's around 10 hours per week, something like that.
Doesn't allow you to live in the city, obviously.
No, it's just, yeah. And then
Quite ironic.
for you to take that visa is around £400 you have to pay.
400.
400, but that's just one part, and then you have like fees applied to that, so you kind of
So you
get
pay to work, obviously.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
for the visa.
Great, thank you. Feel free to join the debate, guys. And Louise, who's British, and she's not a migrant, but maybe, I don't know, you have any kind of perspective or point of view being from here and living in London, having seen so many people studying as well in a school where, as he was mentioning, there are people from every single country in the world. What is your experience, Anna?
Yeah, I mean, I sort of pride myself in the fact that I've grown up in London and grown in such a multicultural society, and you can walk down the street and meet
Can you-
any culture or nationality. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think London is, I think from living in London and being in such a sort of bubble here, I think I was quite ignorant in thinking that the rest of England was like that, which it just really isn't. So then Brexit was obviously quite a blow. But yeah, no, I think London's great. It is a melting pot of different cultures, and it's quite celebrated here as well, I think.
Mhm.
So
It's interesting what you're saying, because then that can lead us to think, so if London has been so opened for people to stay, it's because they have seen what means people to live here, right? So perhaps one of the problems is that these other cities that have voted to leave the European Union is because they haven't been receiving immigration,
Yeah.
so they don't know what it is. So you just are based on whatever are told, and you haven't experienced what it is to have someone from Brazil or someone from Spain or someone from any other country, because
You don't know.
you don't know, you don't have any idea. So it's quite interesting that the places that have seen what migrants have brought to the city have voted stay, because basically London is living out of British and all the other European and any other nationality that are bringing money to the city. So that will be an interesting point, right? To I don't know, to work about, like what happens if you bring these people in and they really work and they really do something, and you merge with them, because you're gonna see
Take the
difference.
money, have new child, because now also our humanity is less child and people that came from other countries, they want to born and they want to make a family here, here or the place that they want. So it's also not only a question of money, it's a question of to mix again, to rebuild this world, because we are more the task of born is less every time. So
Sure.
the people come from other countries, they are new life, new possibilities, new jobs, new money also, because they are paying here the fucking task or the fucking things.
So it's a regeneration.
Another one. Nuevo mundo.
It's interesting that, and it's as well easy to talk about that, I guess, when you're outside. I'm a migrant myself, and it's really easy to see that when you're not living in your own country. But I recognize that not being xenophobic or being racist or something like that, but I recognize in our culture having to deny that education that is unconscious in our society. You know, when you see someone from another country, when you see someone, the first thing that comes to you because of how you are raised, when you have certain education or certain level in a country, the first thing that comes to you is rejection, because we reject what we don't know. So you have to re-educate yourself and say, okay, wait a second, this is wrong, this is not what I believe, this is what I've been taught, but this is not what I truly believe. And you have to fight with that when you're in your own country. I remember that, seeing someone from Bolivia and having prejudgments and thinking that was going to steal my bag or something like that. And it's like, wait a second, no. Hi, how are you? And you need to force yourself to generate a conversation and to merge with that. And And it is very interesting when you're on the other position as well, because you're like, wait a second, so these people are seeing me like that? Wow. And you feel threatened and you feel offended, and I think it will be enrich a lot everyone to travel and to, you know, stay somewhere and live how that is. And one of the problems in the countries that are so xenophobic, like United States or the cities that we're talking about that have voted Brexit, is because they haven't lived their own city, sometimes their own town, their own countries. They don't know what it is to be anywhere else and to be different, right? You wanted to say something?
Yeah, like, that's really cool. Like, you let your stereotypes to influence you. Like, me being a Colombian, being here a lot of times, the first thing that people ask me is like, do you have Coke? Do you sell Coke? Have you tried Coke? And I'm like,
wow,
that's offensive, you know? One guy told me like, can you sell me some Coke? And I was like, I don't do that. He was like, no, don't worry, you can trust me. And I was like, we don't do that. I don't do that. So it's like offensive, you know, that they have, and that also other people are like, oh, he must been selling Coke, like, I'm going to go away. So it's really awful, that part. Like, you feel like, that's not me. You are letting, like, TV, movies influence you. Also, all that stuff, like the media, the social media, let you influence a lot. Because, for example, this in TV now, like TV series like Narcos, Patrón del Mal, all that stuff, let people influence that way, the way they are thinking. And real life is not like that, you know. Colombia is not like that, and South America is not like that anymore. So, but people are still thinking that they don't have their own way of thinking. So that's all.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting that you're bringing up TV, press, and all these kind of things, because obviously that is the educational tool for everyone, and that's what we see, is what we learn and what we copy. And Narcos and other series, that some of them are being produced in South American countries. So it's their own country telling that story about themselves. So what was the point of that, right? It's like we are generating that. So who are they and who are they and all that kind of thing. That's why I want to bring up that, because that is what I was asking earlier. Like, is art a tool to do that? Art or mass media or something that we can change that? For example, Pedro Casade was trying to do that with the song. Like, let's bring pop music and give another message. And it's being tough. It's been tough to, although Radio 1 likes it here, I have to say, it's not going to be played because it has a message. And you cannot deliver a message. You cannot be inclinated. You cannot put this on the TV. But it's true. You cannot, I perceive that, you cannot have, and they consider it's a political message. When it is a social message, you're just saying, the song is saying, don't be afraid of the fight, don't give up, you know, stands for who you are, right? It's just saying that. And we try to do it with a pop song so people listen to it. And people that are listening to it are filtering all that. And kids, we have a lot of kids that are in front of and they are sending the videos. I cannot put them on social media because they are kids, obviously. Videos of kids and photos of kids on the computer listening to the song, and they are amazed because they love it, because the message is good, it's positive, and it's a good vibe. So that shows that if you put this on the radio, people will love it, right? But radios, especially national radios, right, like BBC, that is paid with our money, cannot take part in anything. And is I understand, but on the other hand, it's not taking part. It's just a statement. It's just saying, it's freedom of speech, right? And but we are able to talk about Narcos, and we're able to talk about Mexican people selling drugs and stereotyping that. So that could be another debate, you know, how press is filtering all our knowledge, everything we're saying.
Censorship.
You were too researching about that and finding a lot of press talking about migrants and all the negative words that you especially found, like I don't know how many articles talking in the UK about migrants with a negative approach. So that was the initiation as well of saying, well, we want to change the press here, and we want some of these journalists talking about, hey, there is a good side, there is a good label on this, we are all right. It's amazing how TV and all this media can.
I think media is actually probably one of the main problems. That because they really, and from those that study that I found, it was something like 80% of all the articles that was writing about migrants and immigrants and that kind of thing weren't referencing the person. They weren't referencing any immigrants. They weren't referencing any migrants. They were literally writing these people as a label, and it really filters down into the public, I think, of seeing migrants and immigrants as non-human, and seeing them as like a negative label rather than a person.
The label's identity.
Yeah, and I think it's really dangerous that the way that they're portrayed in the media. It's really callous of the media, and it's and we are so swayed as humans by the things that we read and see, and even if we're not reading everything necessarily consciously, the stuff that you're taking in from that advertisement and all that kind of stuff is so much. Like, we're so influenced by what we see in visuals, and I think media do shape our opinions as much as we can try and create our own from going and studying and that kind of thing and reading around topics. A lot of people, their main sources, the stuff they read in the media.
Yeah, and they don't research further, obviously. Yeah. I remember talking in one of my classes to my students about, because it was going to be the Brexit vote, right? And some of them didn't have any idea what was it, and they were able to vote, right? They didn't know what was it. They didn't know what to vote. The ones that knew about what was Brexit were like, well, I don't know, I will figure it out. And that was on a Thursday, and the vote was going to be a Saturday or Sunday or something like that. I don't know. And I was like, how come you will figure that out? I mean, get a little bit informed, know a little bit about it. If you don't want to take any party, but I was just telling them, guys, research, read, write, get a little bit of information before, because this is going to shape your future as well, and it's going to change your life, right? So it is something that I guess a lot of people are not doing, and we just receive information from whatever channel it is, and we just swallow it. We don't question it. So that's why I was asking you, in a way, if you get any reaction when you're doing your actions, because essentially that one with the big speaker, I think, can be really, standing, because people can be like, wait a second, what is he talking about, right? What is this? So yeah, would be great to have that on a big, I don't know, somewhere where people can hear it more. These things need to be heard or talked about. Okay. Good. Thank you. Shall we watch this documentary and we can talk about these things as well, or people might join us or whatever? Thank you very much for being here, both of you.
Thank you.
It is fantastic to have you work here.